Musical turned Golden Globe winning movie Les Miserables will soon be performed right here in Western New York by a local theater company, Rocking Horse Production. We're joined by music director Tom Doyle, choreographer Kathy Prospero, and the actor who plays Javert, Anthony Alcacer. Thank you all for being here this morning. Now I have to say, Les Miserables is one of my favorite musicals, so it's great to have someone in the studio that can tell us a little bit more about it. For people that haven't seen the movie or haven't seen the staged version, Tom, why don't you give us a little bit of a rundown of what the story is all about?
Well, it's interesting because it deals with the whole revolution and the reactions of people. And it's, you know, so many people think of it as just a big, bombastic musical where there's so much intimacy in the show. And that's one of the things I'm excited about it being in the Opera House, because it's a smaller venue. And I think some of the moments that are often missed on the big stage are going to be, you know, really appreciated in this version.
And as music director, you deal with all of the sound aspects of the musical. So tell us a little bit about what the music is like.
And well, it's been a real challenge because everyone thinks of it as just these, you know, the standard songs that everyone knows. There's like the 4 or 5 big hits from the show, but there's so much more to the show, and I'm sure Anthony can, you know, agree with that. The moments that you don't think about, all the conversation and all the everything sung from beginning to end. So the process has been going on since we started in February, with the vocal aspect, teaching all that. Now we've been adding the orchestra in, and at the Opera House we have another interesting thing that the orchestra is up in the balcony, which we call the loft. So there's not a connection between the orchestra and the cast on stage. So it's a challenge, but it's going great and it sounds wonderful.
Now, Kathy, a lot of people that are familiar with the musical won't necessarily think of this as a dancing show, but there are some really great numbers that utilize choreography. Can you tell me about those?
Right. The largest one, I feel, is the wedding scene. And I did some research, and it's a waltz with a gavotte. And a gavotte is a particular type of waltz for that time frame. So that is one of the bigger numbers. And then there's also the Hear My People Sing is another real big number. And the infamous, as I call it, the V-step march. So there are some choreography pieces in there, so I'm glad I had the opportunity to work with the actors and get them to move in that time frame.
And speaking of the actors, Anthony, you're coming here, but you also play Javert on stage. Tell me a little bit about what it went to take that character that a lot of people now recognize as Russell Crowe.
Well, we're taking a different spin off of the movie. Making our villain and our antagonist a little bit more likable. We're trying that anyway. Sort of to play off of what is the well-known Jean Valjean's redemption story. Having Javert correlate and move at the exact same time, we want to make sure that people understand where he's coming from. And we want to make him our own. And like Tom said, in that intimate space, it's actually a lot of fun getting all of the facial expressions and everything else that comes with being so close. The audience should be able to see a different side of what is usually a villainous character. Trying to make him more well-liked and well-rounded. And
we're scaling that intimacy down even further as we're going to get a performance in just a little bit right here in our studio. Tom, we have very little time. Just give me a rundown of when the show is happening.
Well, it opens this Friday and runs for 3 weekends from June 6th to the 22nd. And you can get tickets just by contacting the Lancaster Opera House directly.
All right, thank you three for joining us. And like I said, we'll be back over here again to get a little sneak preview of what's happening on stage. But right now, we're going to send it back to the other studio.
Hey, that's right. From Sweet Melody.